Embark on a bone-chilling journey with true disturbing walking home, alone, horror stories. These tales unveil the unsettling experiences of individuals navigating the shadowy paths on their way home. From eerie encounters to spine-tingling moments, each story delves into the disturbing realities faced by those walking alone. Now, before we dive into the spine-tingling narratives, let me set the stage for you. Picture this: a 23-year-old female spending most of her life in the cold embrace of Canada. She moved there for college, but one evening carved a chilling memory into her psyche. The nights were pitch dark, the sky cloaked in ominous clouds, and remnants of snow lingering from days past. Our protagonist, lost in her world of music, clad in regular headphones with cords dangling like lifelines, embarked on the nightly ritual of walking back to her student house near the campus. But let me tell you, this wasn't your typical college experience. The landlord was the definition of indifference, letting broken things fester like ghosts in a haunted house. Our heroine, determined to conquer impending tests, found solace in her nightly walks, her trusty playlist playing like a guardian against the silence. On this particular night, her companion Kate was absent due to some unforeseen commitment. The library, her sanctuary of study, was closing its doors. Armed with determination and the glow of streetlights as her only guide, our protagonist braved the icy roads with her favorite tunes playing through her earphones. As she approached the main road, a van, grayish but bearing the aura of a worker's vehicle, crept into view. At first, she brushed it off. Maybe they're lost, she thought. But red flags started popping up in her mind like warning signals. The van lingered, and as she looked closer, a man sat in the driver's seat, accompanied by an ominous figure in the passenger seat. Now, things are about to get hair-raising. Our protagonist, sensing something amiss, swiftly tucked away her headphones and observed the van's slow approach. The icy road beneath her added an extra layer of tension, mirroring the chilling vibe that had descended upon her surroundings. As she crossed the road, the van followed suit, maintaining an uncomfortably slow pace. Every step she took echoed in the silence, and the realization dawned on her. This wasn't a mere coincidence. The van, with its mysterious occupants, trailed her like shadows in the night. The campus is deserted, covered in snow, and the only company she has is her playlist echoing through regular headphones. But little did she know, this night was about to become the plot of a horror movie. As she walks, she notices a van approaching, mysterious occupants peering out, not looking lost, but definitely looking at her. No GPS, no phone fiddling, and no map checking, just an eerie stare. The tension builds as the van pulls up right next to her, and the driver in the middle of the road rolls down both windows, yelling something incomprehensible. Now here's where it gets stranger than fiction. Our protagonist, being the good-hearted soul, cautiously approaches. The guys in the van, sporting dark hair, beards, and a tan complexion, ask for directions to a place she's never heard of. Cue the creepy vibes. They might look like your typical Italian heartthrobs, but their aura screams something else. Our protagonist, a seasoned local, realizes the Italian guy's destination doesn't add up. She's been around, she knows the streets, and this place they're talking about is nowhere in her mental map. But the guys persist, giving her the heebie-jeebies with their unsettling glares. Thinking on her feet, she pretends to consider their request, pointing ahead and playing along. But sorry guys, no idea. She starts walking away, heart pounding, and the van idles behind her, engine still running. Fear seeps in as she speeds up, listening for any doors opening or shutting behind her. As she approaches the last road, she notices the van at the end of the street. Panic sets in. The van must have taken a shortcut to meet her again. Heart pounding, she almost runs across the last road, fueled by fear rather than the cold. The narrow path to her student house is in sight, a potential haven, but the van accelerates, engine roaring. Fear overtakes her, and she steps aside, creating distance. The guy in the van, now on the wrong side of the road, offers a ride, weaving a tale of concern about frostbite. Red flags everywhere. Finally reaching home, she shares the spine-chilling encounter with her housemates. The reaction? Two skeptics dismiss it as paranoia, but the three girls in the group take it deadly seriously. They suggest rideshare services for safer travels, a prudent move after such a harrowing experience. Our first tale takes us to a sleep-deprived night where TV shows, social media, texting, and studying replaced the usual late-night musings. After grabbing just a few hours of shut-eye, our protagonist is abruptly jolted awake by an unusual noise outside their second-floor window. The clock reads 1:30 in the morning, a time when the world should be wrapped in silence, but what unfolds outside is far from silent. Car doors closing, a sound that sends shivers down the spine. As the blinds are pulled aside, there it is, a van and two mysterious figures looking up at the second-floor window. Panic sets in as our storyteller dials 911, their body on autopilot. The police arrive, engaging in a conversation with the van occupants before approaching the shaken resident. As it turns out, the two men were not malevolent strangers, but new neighbors moving into the same house. Unsettling, right? The mix of confusion and fear lingers, leading our storyteller to opt for taxis and Ubers directly from their front door. A vivid recount of one of the scariest, most helpless moments of their life, leaving us with lingering chills. Now, let's shift gears to another eerie adventure. A casual evening walk in the park takes a terrifying turn. Our narrator, accompanied by their boyfriend and a friend, stumbles upon the distant yet piercing screams of someone in distress. The trio, drawn by curiosity and a sense of responsibility, cautiously ventures towards the source of the screams. As they tread through the quiet park, the intermittent screams intensify the air. The voice, possibly a woman or a young boy, pleads for help. Safety in numbers, they say, but with only three of them, the unease starts to settle in. A park that seemed familiar in daylight transforms into a shadowy labyrinth as the screams echo every 2 or 3 minutes, lasting no more than 10 or 20 seconds. The tension escalates, heightening the vulnerability of our 5'2" female narrator. What could be happening on the other side of the park? The chilling uncertainty of the unknown tightens its grip as they press on, their steps echoing the rhythm of the unsettling cries. Our first bone-chilling narrative takes us to a park at night, where three friends find themselves entangled in a mysterious series of screams. As they traverse through the darkness, the screams lead them to an apartment building. The confusion builds, the tension rises, and the fear escalates as they try to decipher the origin of the chilling cries. The police are called, arriving in the dead of night to untangle the eerie enigma. What they uncover is both bizarre and perplexing. The screams are not of distress, but of a young kid engrossed in a late-night gaming session. The strange part: the local council had been notified multiple times, yet the issue persisted. A twist in the tale that leaves us questioning the thin line between reality and the macabre. Now, let's switch gears to a dark, rainy night in the north of England. An 18-year-old, seasoned in navigating the familiar route from the gym, finds their routine walk home taking a sinister turn. The winter nights cast shadows on the path, and the absence of public transport amplifies the sense of vulnerability. As the narrator advances through a narrow path, a suited stranger comes into view. The humming, the stare, and the discomfort intensify. The guy, decked out in a full black suit with a chain on his waistcoat, exudes an eerie aura. Grisly hair and an unwavering gaze send shivers down the spine. The narrator, feeling uneasy, employs a tough look, a silent warning. But the tension peaks when the stranger abruptly stops, intensifying the fear. The narrator quickens their pace, constantly checking over their shoulder. The stranger's bizarre behavior leaves them in the dark, clueless about the intentions lurking behind the grisly appearance. These tales remind us that the ordinary can morph into the extraordinary, and the seemingly mundane streets can harbor the inexplicable. If you've ever walked home alone at night, these stories will make you rethink every shadow and every stranger. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more.